going on, my friends? I am outside of Las Vegas, Nevada at Lavelle Canyon, and today I am going to ride through the Rocky Gap Road. I got the 2024 KTM 500 EXCF outfitted with a little bit of gear. Let's get on it, see what it's about. So, as I stated, I'm at Lavelle Canyon, so I'm going to be running this from Lavelle Canyon to the Red Rock Canyon National Conservation Area. So this is a popular road with four-wheel drives, Jeeps, things like that. It's got a kind of main rock garden that's pretty gnarly for four-wheel drives. It's not too bad on a bike for at least an experienced rider. Newbies would struggle through there, but if you've been riding for a while, it's not too bad. But it's I don't know, I'd say it's probably at least intermediate through that rock garden. So I actually already went through it once this morning. I got here early and I had some plans. I was gonna get some footage for testing the traction control knob, and I wanted to get some drone video. I got my drone with me, but I was just having issues with the drone getting it to follow me properly, and I haven't got all that figured out probably as well as I need to. Either that or the drone just doesn't do that well. And anyways, the video just kind of got broken up and I got to rambling, and I didn't think some of the scenes would be that good, so I decided to go back to the beginning and just get a solid run all the way beginning to end. That way, for those of you watching, it's just, you know, just all the way through POV, first person view. Probably a little bit easier to watch than me having problems with my drone. So I might include some of the drone footage. I think I got like a couple short sections that'll turn out usable, but just like I say, it just wasn't going well, so let's get it. So really enjoying the bike, man. Starting to really get more comfortable on it. I've been riding it for several months now and getting it out, doing some different stuff, and just feeling good. Enjoying my new tune with the Athena Get ECU. That's fun. So yeah, this rock garden was interesting. Like I say, I was working on trying to make a video testing the traction control knob, but I found out quickly that I'm gonna really need to take it out in a lot of different places and try it over different terrain, because it's kind of tricky to test it in some of the stuff I've been doing so far, just because the terrain, in my opinion, really doesn't lend itself to giving the computer the ability to do what it needs to do. I don't know, maybe that's a weird thing to say. It works, there's no doubt. Switching between maps works. So, you know, when I go from map 1 to map 2, the enduro map, and I'll turn the traction control up to like 5 or 6, oh, it makes a difference. You can feel it. It helps you keep that wheel spin to a minimum. So there's no doubt, you know, that's what they designed it for. It's well known, but I just kind of like to add to that a little bit. Another person, you know, using it on this bike, just kind of giving you my feedback. It works. Let's see, I'll probably be switching into map 2 here in a little bit. Starts getting rocky. Yeah, I guess you could do some of those bypasses through the creek too. I say the creek, there's not much water flowing right now. There was one section that had some. But through the old riverbed, old creek bed. Alright, let's see. I'm just going to go ahead and go map 2. We're getting close to the garden. And let's turn traction control. They say you can do this live. while riding. Traction control up at 6. Yeah, man, it definitely reels it in. But you still got some bark. Handy little tool, I'd say. I'm just gonna stay on the main road today. Technically, you're not supposed to deviate from it because we are, I don't think we went past the sign yet, maybe I missed it. But we do go into the conservation area, and this trail, this road, is only approved for street legal vehicles. So it's one of those deals, you know, don't get too wild and press your luck. So we're traction control 6. Hell, let's just turn it up. Or traction control 8. See how that feels. There's the sign I was talking about. Actually, that's the second one. There's two you go past. One is Red Rock and one is Rainbow Wilderness. Alright, we are to the garden. Let's get my visor up so I don't start sweating. It's late June here in Las Vegas, so it gets hot. It was really nice out here this morning, but it's starting to warm up. So you see, I mean, if you really wanted to come out here and let your inner trials rider out, you could. You're an enduro rider. I'm kind of just following the road, but you could turn this into your own little personal playground. See here. Yeah, I'm kind of just barking it. I could definitely be picking it apart slower if I wanted. But yeah, this bike handles great, man. And I even got the luggage on there. I'm not sure how much weight's in there, but I'm carrying quite a bit of weight. It's not much for the bike because I'm a light rider, but I'm just, you know, as far as me managing the bike with the extra weight, I don't know, I gotta be carrying 20 or 30 pounds. I have to weigh it one of these days. So, you know, that was the most challenging section. Like I said, there's some bypasses. Well, I shouldn't call them bypasses. This is the bypass, the road. There's the riverbed. You could extend that section quite a bit. But, you know, like I say, probably it's better to stay on the road. Oh, there's a Liz. I was about to pop off that rock, but there was a lizard on it. I know, I'm too kind. Left the poor lizard alone. He's got it hard enough, guys. Yeah, you can definitely feel just kind of like it's just the engine is just retarded. And two, map 2. But I think it's time to go back to map 1 and 0 on the traction control. Alright, so yeah, the traction control works, man, there's no doubt about it. It's just when you get in those sections like that, those rocky sections, you're starting to clutch a lot, you know, and clutching is basically manual traction control. I mean, you know, a big part of that is keeping the bike running, but that's essentially what it does. It acts as a traction control. And, you know, that's how we've always done it for years, but having that ability to just scale the engine back at the click of a button, twist of a knob, you know, that really helps. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with it, but what I kind of mentioned earlier about as far as if it's really effective in this type of terrain is because, like, when you're on hard rock and stuff, or you're in between like hard rock and loose dirt, it's making the system, like, let's say you're doing wheel spin in soft terrain and then you hit hard rock and it hooks up. Well, now you're causing the ECU to have to rethink, and you're doing that rapidly. Like I climbed two other hills where exactly that was happening. Every other foot was going between gravel to hard rock, and so I'm getting like going in between wheel spin and hooking up, and the bike, every time it wants to grab that rock, every time I get on that rock, it wants to buck the bike, and then the next second you're back on that gravel slipping around, peeling out, and it's just, I don't know, I feel like it's kind of a difficult situation for the ECU to keep up with. So yeah, I won't go on too much longer about that, but it works. Yeah, I'm really liking the KTM though, man. This is fun. I've said before, this is my first KTM, first 500 I've ever ridden as well. So, KTM 500, I've ridden some other big bikes, just never any of the KTM or Husky, you know, those type brands. The enduro bikes, really. It's my first enduro bike I've ever had, and I really like it. Put the visor down, probably gonna get too much wind noise. The road starts speeding up through the next bit here, and there's still a couple sections that get gnarly, but the majority of it's pretty lax from here on. But we're back in bark mode, so back in guard dog mode. We can do some barking. Stir the rocks up a little bit, you know. Still running the factory tires, Continental Twin Duros. You know, obviously they're not great, but people really got bad things to say about these, you know, dual sport tires that come on just dual sports in general. And dude, I've been riding these. I think I'm gonna hit 1,800 miles on the bike today, so the tires got 1,800 miles. And I mean, I'm not doing the hardest of the hard, and I'm not always riding in like wet, sloppy terrain and stuff, but like out here in Las Vegas, a lot of this stuff, roads like this, I mean, you don't really need an aggressive off-road tire for this. And you can see I went through that rock garden, wasn't a big deal. I mean, the bike just chomped right through it. Alright, I had to stop for a second. I had some battery issues with the GoPro. Apparently my auxiliary battery was not on and my GoPro battery died. Camera cut out. So anyway, I was talking about the Twin Duro tires right before that. Bottom line, I'm just going to run them till they're done. I don't see any need to just run out and buy tires and just waste these ones, you know. When these ones wear out, I'll probably go with a slightly more aggressive tire, but a dual sport tire nonetheless, because I dual sport the bike. So I can't, at this time, I can't make the case for putting, you know, a dirt tire on, because it's just going to get chewed up on the road. But I will go slightly more aggressive. So yeah. But as you can see, this is a really beautiful place. I really should just slow down and just pan the camera around for you. Red Rock, for those of you that have never been to Las Vegas or to Red Rock Canyon, it is actually considered a world-class destination. And when it comes to being world-class, it's particularly in the rock climbing segment. Rock climbing is another sport I'm involved with. But people literally travel from all around the world to come rock climbing out here at Red Rock. It's pretty prolific. I almost want to put it up there with like Yosemite and Zion as far as, you know, western US spots. I mean, obviously those spots are different. Those two areas are well known for their big wall climbing. Red Rock's more about free climbing. We've got some big walls out here, but yeah, that's just something worth noting, is that the sandstone out here is considered very high quality. We're not looking at any of it. We're back in the limestone now, but when I drive out at the end, you'll start to see some of those sandstone mountains as I get over to the Willow Springs area. So yeah, Red Rock is, you ever come out to Las Vegas, you got to make a trip out through Red Rock. At least drive through. You know, if you're out here in the summer, depending on your ambition level, you may not want to do much outside of the car. But hell, when we were teenagers, we used to come out here in the dead of summer and go deep into the canyons. All we'd have is, you know, water and a couple snacks or something. Get that visor down. I'm gonna stop real quick and make sure that camera's still going. I didn't hear it shut off, but yep, she's working. This is a nice little spot here with an old growth pine tree right there. That sucker is massive. You get to the base, that thing's got to be 3 foot diameter. It's big. Old tree, got to be hundreds of years old. We've got some really old pine trees out here. Red Rock's got them up in the canyon spots that are very inaccessible. Haven't seen anyone out on the road today. I saw some hikers out. We'll probably see some more once we get toward the end. But it is midweek, so boom. But sometimes you'll come through here and there'll be a Jeep train. Yeah, this is a cool bike. I did a lot of highway on the way in. I didn't keep track of how many miles, but it was quite a bit, and I just went slow. I'm, you know, 50 to 65 miles per hour, and the bike is fine when you're going slower. I just really don't like ringing it out over 65. You can go a lot faster than that, but it just doesn't, to me, it just doesn't feel right. I mean, if you had taller gearing, probably be fun. But I was thinking about that on the way in, because I did a big jaunt, and I was like, yeah, you know, you could definitely do this, but maybe for some of these farther out spots, you'd just be better off hauling the bike. Just depends what you're doing. Sometimes it's easier to just ride this out rather than go through all that effort of loading up the truck. But it also is nice to have the base camp, because then I could have run this thing, you know, 3 or 4 times back and forth, or stayed the night out with the truck, and that's always fun too. I mean, it just rolls right through that stuff. No problem. Yeah. Yeah. So let's see, where am I at? Mileage now. You know, actually, I got one complaint with the bike. It's done this thing in the past week where it's like my, let me stop real quick. My tack will like reset. And I had reset my trip this morning when I got fuel, and then I rode like 50 some miles, and then it frickin' reset. Now I'm down to 5.6 when I just restarted this video. So something's going on. But I just wanted to check the mileage, because I'm at like half a tank. So I think it was like 1760 or something like that. 1760. So yeah, we're getting up there on the miles for today. What did I start at? 1675, something like that. So we'll be 100 miles here for the trip today. No problem. That was from start, not from when I filled up. I'm probably at like somewhere around 50 or 60 miles if my trip didn't reset on me. But yeah, what I was saying, I don't know why it's doing that. Like, it wasn't doing that, and then the past week it's done it to me like 2 or 3 times. Clock resets, trips resets. I'm like, what the hell? This bike's just got too much power for a road like this, man. Can't even open her up. So yeah, there's a couple minor complaints with the bike. The vibration, and I got that display resetting on me, which is pretty annoying because I use my trip a lot. I'm always like watching it, mostly just gauging my fuel economy. Oh shit, spun out. You guys almost got a crash. Don't know how the hell that happened. Loose gravel. So there's those sandstone mountains. And these aren't even the big ones. Willow Springs is kind of a section that kind of like tapers down. There's some pretty big stone massifs out here. But yeah, huge amount of rock climbing in this area. I put up a bunch of routes. There was a period of time when I was rock climbing really heavily. Haven't been doing it much lately, but there was like 5 or 6 years there that I was climbing every week, if not, 2 or 3 times a week out here. Really fun sport. But if you're technical climbing with a rope, you gotta have partners. You gotta have good partners with the same ambitions, which isn't always easy to do, or to find rather. So as we come down here, I usually tone it down a notch because this is where you start to get to some trailheads. And there'll be people out here hiking. There's a trail coming up really close around the corner here called La Madre Springs. Cool little trail. It's got a homestead site on it, or a foundation left from, I don't know when it was last inhabited, but probably early 1900s, something like that. There's a couple sites actually out here. There's one at Pine Creek too. But yeah, that trailhead is just right up here a little further. But you got to tone it down because you start getting to people hiking, and you got to share the road with them. So I don't like to freak them out or get anybody calling the ranger or anything like that. I'm allowed to be here, but it's just better to keep it easy and not piss off the hikers. I'm a hiker too, so I understand. You don't want to be hearing motorcycles ripping around. You come out here for peace and quiet. But yeah, there's the trailhead for La Madre Spring, and that takes you up back in there a ways, and there's an old homestead site and a spring. And then now we're going into Willow Springs. So this is getting near the end of the road here. But like I say, I'm not seeing anyone ahead of me, but I'll just keep it toned down. This parking lot and a paved road coming up. But yeah, I just want to kind of pan some of these mountains too. I'm not sure how much of that's showing up on the GoPro. I'm trying to hold my head up a little bit. Really cool place. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get to the end of the road here. I'm going to air my tires up a bit so I can get back on the highway. And I think I'll just roll some of the footage as I drive through the loop for any of you that want to stick around for that. Maybe I can see if the GoPro picks up any good video of that. I don't know how it'll turn out. We'll see. If it's not any good, I'll just edit it out and we'll just end the road, or end the video with the end of Rocky Gap Road here. But maybe I can sneak you guys some Red Rock views in as well. Alright, so I'm gonna air up. Let me see if I can find some shade maybe. And then I'll check back with you guys here in a second. Yeah, here I'll park myself in the shade. That's the paved road, so that's the end of Rocky Gap, guys. But like I say, I'm gonna try to see if I can pick up some good red rock views for you as well. Be right back. Alright, tires are aired back up. So that is considered Lost Creek Canyon. That canyon there and that canyon there. There's some good rock climbing routes down here. It's called Ragged Edges. I've put up a couple routes up there years ago. Hell, it's been like 10 years now, maybe more. But yeah, let's do some Red Rock Canyon views on the way out here. In Kanemoto a little bit. This is actually this paved road is a really cool road for street bikes as well. There's a really winding section in the beginning. I'm like halfway through or better when I come out here. But a really cool road for you street bikers. Of course, now they want to go. Just waiting to see if anyone's coming. Not too bad out today. We were triple digits by the end of May, and then it got really hot in the beginning of June, and past several days it kind of chilled out a little bit. Granted, it's only like 9 or 9:30 in the morning right now. That is Icebox Canyon. That's a really cool canyon with some big routes in it. There's usually it's not perennial, but there's a waterfall that sometimes flows year round. Sometimes dries up. Icebox Canyon, Bridge Mountain's that towering mountain in the back. Mount Wilson off in the distance there. Pass. Maybe, maybe not. Little 6-gear roll on. There's the Calico Hills over there. So this road starts down at the base of that mountain over there. And then it winds all through and takes you through. Really cool road on a bike as well. So yeah, for you dirt guys, you gotta go hit Rocky Gap. But those of you that do some street, The Red Rock Loop is also a must-do in the Las Vegas area. Really cool loop. Just, you know, mind your manners. Don't want to give us a bad rap. This is a very, very popular area. Lots of people come out here. I have no idea how many. Many. I'm sure hundreds of thousands every year, if not probably more than that. I have to check the stats on that. So this is Bridge Mountain, this is the east face of Bridge Mountain. Another thing you can find out at Red Rock, a lot of people don't know, is there are dinosaur tracks out here. I know where some are. Now we've got here, that's what we call Jetstream Wall on the right. Rainbow Wall is that kind of concave one in the middle. And then Rainbow Mountain. It's kind of all Rainbow Mountain really, but I kind of break them up like that. Juniper Canyon going in there to Rainbow Wall. Rainbow Wall is considered one of the big walls of Red Rock. Traditionally, back in the day when they were originally pioneered, they were done big wall style climbers. And but nowadays everyone's free climbing them. That's just the sport's advanced that much. So yeah, people climb these things. There's almost certainly some people, well, there's freaking no vehicles. I was about to say there's one. I'm actually, well, I shouldn't be surprised. It's June. Everyone moves on to different areas. What am I talking about? Nobody's out climbing Red Rock in June except for the locals. Except for us weird locals. And even most of us go up to Mount Charleston or travel in the summer. Sometimes you just gotta grip it and rip it, man. So see, this bike does get a little bit of head shake. I know one guy was arguing with me, and it's not my grip. Matter of fact, he was saying if you grip too tight, I was testing it as I was saying that, and as I loosened my grip up, it got worse. So, and I've got a headwind right now. So this bike will get a little bit of head shake with a headwind. And from what I've seen riding, you know, certain roads back to back, it's worse with a headwind. So I don't know, people got their opinions on that, but it seems to be pretty obvious to me. And it doesn't always do it. I've had the bike up at speed and it won't always get head shake. Sometimes it does, and whenever it's one of those sometimes, there's a headwind, like right now. See, now you can see it on the trees. Definite headwind. Man, I just love that low end pull of this bike, man. This is so fun. Okay. That's Oak Creek Canyon, Mount Wilson. And you get some other canyons, First Creek, Black Velvet, Mud Springs. Mud Springs all the way on the end. Yep, world-class rock climbing area and a very popular recreation spot. So there you go, guys. I'm heading back into town. That was Rocky Gap Road and some Red Rock views. See you in the next one.